Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a very long time and I'm so sorry for that. I've had a lot going on in my personal life with my health. I've had a few surgeries and been in and out of the hospital several times over the past year, so filming just wasn't really a priority. But I am so excited to get back to my channel. I have really missed it, and I've missed you guys. Everybody learn about all the new books and just really let my reading and my writing take off, so to speak. Today, I have for you guys the mid-year book freakout tag. This is probably one of my favorite videos to do every single year. I love to watch them. I love doing the videos and just seeing the progress of where my reading tastes have been throughout the year, throughout the first part of the year, and seeing how they match up. So let's just go right on ahead and get into the questions. The first question is, what is the best book that you have read this year? And for me, without a doubt, it's not even close. That would be Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I loved this book so much. It is just so gripping and it just really holds on to your soul. It follows the story of Kenna, a young woman who has spent many years in prison following the accident and being charged with manslaughter in the death of her boyfriend. And she had a baby while in prison. And now that she is out, she's wanting to reconnect with her child and all the roadblocks along the way. You can't help but feel for everybody that's involved in the situation because this mother really loves her child. She really wants to connect with her. You feel for the little girl for not knowing her parents, and you can see the grandparents who are raising her's point of view. It really is touching in seeing it from every side of the equation. It's a unique title. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, but I'm so glad, so glad that I read it. It's probably my favorite Colleen Hoover so far. So if you've read one of the other ones, like, say, Ugly Love or All Your Perfects, those aren't really as popular. If you read those and didn't really vibe with it, you might want to give Reminders of Him a try. It will probably restore your faith in Colleen Hoover because it is an amazingly touching story. The next question is, what is the worst book that you have read this year? And for me, that is The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Please do not come after me, you guys. I know that this is a controversial opinion. I know it, believe me. I know that this is very highly regarded on BookTube, on Bookstagram, on Book Twitter. But for me, I was extremely underwhelmed by it. And I don't know if it's just because of how much hype there was with this book and that I was let down. And that is a big reason why I tend to stay away from books while they're at the height of their hype. But I made an exception with this one, and I didn't care for it at all. If you don't know, The Love Hypothesis is a contemporary romance that is set in a college setting, and it's kind of like a enemies to lovers type of thing, but honestly, I felt there was no chemistry between the two main characters, and I hear the opposite from everybody else. I don't know what they were seeing that I wasn't. I wanted to love it so much, but I didn't buy the love story. I didn't. It was stale, it was long. There were so many instances of just cringeworthy cringeworthy romantic interactions that just made me want to crawl out of my skin. I'm sorry if this is your favorite book. I mean no shade, and I'm sure that Ali Hazelwood is an amazing writer. This particular story was not my vibe, and that's okay. I mean, it very well might be yours. Um, I mean, the majority of people on on BookTube and Bookstagram, this is a very, very popular book. So please don't let me dissuade you if this is your genre, if this is the type of thing that you love. This is just my personal experience and my opinion. Um, so don't take it to heart, but it's just for me, it was just a 2-star rating. It was a bit of a letdown. The next question for the freakout tag is, what is the best sequel that you have read so far this year? I haven't read very many sequels, but I will say that the one that surprised me the most and that I really, really enjoyed the most, something that wasn't a reread, I don't really like to count that, is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I have been extremely surprised with the two books that I have read by Tessa Bailey, which was It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker. And these are companion novels. I'm not so sure if they'd be considered, if it's considered a sequel or a companion, but either way, I would count it for this question. And each book follows a different sister in this sweet, cute little coastal town, and their instances of falling in love. And Hook, Line, and Sinker, it just made me smile. It made me so happy. It was cute. Was it groundbreaking literature? Not by any means, not by a long shot, but it was fun. And it was very, very sweet. I loved the characters of Fox and Hannah. They were just top notch. And I highly, highly recommend that you pick it up if you haven't already read it. It's a light, fluffy, cute little beachy summertime read, and it's just perfect for this time of year. So I wouldn't recommend reading it in the winter. I don't think it would have the same effect, but I read it right in the height of summer, and it was the perfect story. It was exactly what I needed, and I really hope that it is what you need as well. The next question is, what is a new release that you have not read yet that you want to? I have so many for this question. The majority of the books that I personally was interested in that were released this year all have come out around the same time, which is now. When I'm filming this, it's early August. So right off the top of my head, I would say The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one of my top-notch girls. I absolutely love her, especially her thrillers, and I will read absolutely anything that she puts out. I think she's an amazing writer. I love her plot twists. I love just the general vibe of her stories, and this is a sequel to The Family Upstairs, which I have done a full review on in the past, and I will link that down in the description for you so you can check that out. But I'm really, really excited to see the continuation and how this book fits in with that one. I would also say another couple of good selections for this question would be Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda, and Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Those are all ones that I am extremely, extremely excited to get to. Next question is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? And for me, this is easily, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is the sequel to It Ends With Us, and I loved that book. I loved the message behind it. I loved the writing style. So I don't really know if this is supposed to feature the same characters, or if it's, taking over from the point of view of a side character, maybe from It Ends With Us. But either way, I'm just so excited to get back into this. It comes out in October, I believe, and I'm just very, very, very happy for it. It's going to be coming out around the same time as my birthday, so it's perfect timing. It's like it's in the stars, so to speak, so I'm very, very excited for that one. Next question is, what was the biggest disappointment of the year so far? And I've enjoyed most of what I've read this year. If I had to put a title to this, I would say it was probably The Tommyknockers by Stephen King. As you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, Stephen King is probably one of my top favorite authors. I don't love absolutely everything that I've read by him, but I do love the vast majority. And considering how prolific he is, that is saying quite a lot. And I didn't have the highest hopes for the Tommyknockers, to be 100% honest, because Stephen King has even said himself that he thought that it was a big pile of trash. And he barely remembers writing it because it was during the height of his drug addictions that he had back in the 80s, I believe, 70s, 80s. So, I mean, it was just right in the height of all of that, and it's very, very out there. But it was one of his chunkier books, and I still was excited to read it, and I'm not disappointed that I read it. I've definitely read worse, but it's just, it felt a little flat. This one, is the one that deals with more like the aliens, and it's bizarre. And I don't really know how to describe it. There were way too many characters to keep track of. The ones that we were following the most predominantly, I didn't really care for, especially the main character. She got on my nerves. And I know that it was supposed to be the effects of the ship that was like on her property that she was digging up, like that she was being affected by it. I understand that. But it's just so hard to follow a character like that for 500 something pages that is just making the worst decisions and is being so annoying. And I was very, very glad when that book was over, and I'm kind of sad about that. I am. So take it what you will. I will still read more Stephen King. Obviously, I love him. On a similar note, the next question would be, what was the biggest surprise of the year so far? And I would say that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I don't know why, but I didn't think I was going to like that book. It was just, I've read by Kristen Hanna before a couple of times, and while I didn't hate her writing, I wasn't particularly drawn to it. I didn't love it. Her stuff never really stuck with me after the fact. And then plus the fact that this one was a historical timepiece, like I just thought that the combination was going to be underwhelming for me, but I was very, very wrong. The Nightingale, if you didn't know, follows a pair of sisters back in World War II, and just basically how they survive. And the one sister, Isabel, becomes an informant, sending secret messages under the alias of the Nightingale, putting herself at great risk. And I just found this to be a very touching story. The two sisters' opinions are conflicted on the way to handle their situation, and I could see it from both of their points of view. I really, really could, even though their points of view were so different and it did cause a lot of conflict in the home. I could see where they both were coming from, and it was just one of those things where it was kind of like, do you take the personal risk or do you not? And I liked seeing that. This book has stuck with me since I completed it. I think about it often, and it's kind of restored my faith in Kristen Hanna. I think I might give some more of her work another chance. Next question is, who is your new favorite author that you have discovered this year? Colleen Hoover. I have read so many of her books. I don't think I've read all of them yet, but almost every single one that I have read has just really, really gotten to me. Something about this woman's writing style, and I can't put my finger on it, is so engaging and breathtaking. She knows how to paint a picture, and she knows how to really get at your heartstrings. I would say the only one that I read that I didn't care for was Ugly Love. And I shouldn't say didn't care for. I didn't like it as much as the others that I've read. It was still fine, but there were things about it that I didn't care for. And I just didn't feel like it held a candle to all of her other works. But she's an amazing author, and I can't wait to read the rest of her backlist and all of her future releases. She's going to be a go-to auto-buy author from here on out. Next question is newest favorite character or favorite crush. I'm saying new favorite character because I don't really get a crush on characters in books that often. But my newest favorite character, I already talked about her a little bit, was Kenna from Reminders of Him. I just felt so engaged with her story, and just she had such a kind soul, and I just wanted to reach out and give her a hug. Yeah, I was rooting for her the whole time that she would be able to reconnect with her daughter. So I would have to say her. She really has stuck out to me more than any other character that I have read about this year. The next question is book that made you cry. I will say this. I don't normally cry when I read books. However, that streak has been obliterated this year. And that's all with Colleen Hoover yet again. Like, almost everything that I've read, almost everything, has just been tearjerkers, but especially Reminders of Him and It Ends With Us. I was destroyed reading both of those books, but in a very, very good way. It's just, like I said, she knows how to get inside your head and deal with your emotions and like just go for the heart. And she really knows how to get to you on an emotional level. And those are probably the best examples. Also, to a lesser degree, Heartbones. That one I felt was very emotional too. This is just something that she is very, very good at, and I am not complaining. I like that I'm having this experience now when I read that I didn't typically have before. It's new, and I love it. Next question is a book that made you happy, and I have to say that that was Joyland by Stephen King. This book was so much fun. This follows a young man who has started work at a carnival called Joyland in North Carolina, I believe it was. It might have been South Carolina. It's been a little bit. But this book was just so wholesome and sweet. And, it's just, I loved the entire vibe about this. I loved the setting of it being in the amusement park, and his relationship with other people, including a young mother and her son. It was such a sweet connection. There's a little bit of a mystery that's being unfolded. Um, I knew that this book existed before I read it, but I hadn't really heard a lot about it, especially compared to his other works. But this is up there with some of my top favorites of his. I'm glad that I got to it, despite not really knowing anything about it, because it really was an amazing, amazing, lighthearted read. It was very, very easy to get through. I believe I read it in one sitting, if I remember right. And I would read this again a million times over. The next question is the most beautiful book that you have bought this year. I would say that is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I absolutely love this cover. Takes place like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a massive, massive snowstorm, and the cover reflects that. I love that you can see the snow and the trees. It's not really picking up on camera very well, I'm sorry. And I thought that the red for the text was very, very fitting, considering the mystery that unfolds in the middle of this massive snowstorm. And the red kind of symbolizes that. If you've read it, you will know what I mean. I'm not going to go into it because of spoilers, but I really, really love this cover, and it sticks out to me probably more than any others at this point. Final question is, what books do you need to complete by the end of the year? This is always the hardest question for me to answer. I would say preferably everything on my TBR, but there's not enough hours in the day to go through absolutely everything that I want to read. So I would say top priority would be the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I am currently on book 5, City of Lost Souls, and I'm kind of already over this series. I really, really enjoyed the first 3 books, and I mentioned it back when I read book 4 that it felt unnecessary because it seemed to me like the storyline had been wrapped up at the end of book 3, and book 4 just kind of felt like it was not needed. And I feel that even more with City of Lost Souls. I do feel like the series should have stopped at book 3, but I'm going to see it through because I've come this far, and there's only 6 books in this timeline, I believe. Like I know there's another timeline, which is the Infernal Devices. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I believe that's my understanding of it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the series, and I would like to complete that this year, but I don't have very high hopes for it because I'm not loving it as of right now. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I had so much fun doing this tag. Please, please, I tag all of you to do this if you haven't already, and let me know if you agree with my opinions down in the comments below, and let me know if you have done these tags yourself so that I can go and check those out. I have a new schedule. I'm going to be uploading on Tuesdays and Thursdays from here on out to give me more time to deal with my health issues. But I'm so excited to be back. I've missed you guys greatly. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.